Yehlile. Kufuna usiqhatha nelolo. Ngabe uyayidlala, it's fine, kodwa uyehlise. Amen, amen kwabazalwana. Ngibhema ngoba ziningi into engizoyikhuluma la kwi-live. Mhlampe bayangihlasela bazongihlasela afterwards. So ngcono nje ngiyijimele ngazi ukuthi nje ngingena kule nkulumo ngisemathongweni vele umoya uyadonsa ugijima nami. Ababhemayo abasabhema lezi zinto ezigaywa belunga ngiba-understand. Ezigaywa zidayiswa ko-Shoprite and all of that. Angazi insulting ngaphi. But menisadla lokho emakhaleni ngidlela amathongo angini-understand. But asikho lapho. Ngibhemele le nkinga le ngizoyenza la. Bese ngigibela phezu kwendaba. Ngigibela phezu kwayo nje mengithe ukuthi kancane. I think I'm still wet because of
Yeah, because.
Oh, bungayifaki imic. Hey. Now, I hope I'm louder.
Should be.
I should be.
Just
Okay. I'm sure bayangizwa. Imake-ke ngigibele phezu kwendaba. And ungakhohlwa ukuthatha imic yakho ne? I know that I'm late. Le live bengithi ngizoyenza nini? Ngizoyenza nini Shabala?
On Friday.
No, it wasn't Friday.
When?
No, it was during this week.
Oh.
I think it was like Wednesday or something, but okay.
Yeah.
Afica ngabhaqwa load shedding. Sengifike endlini. Yabuya late and angeke ngikwazi ukuthi ngenze i-live mina ebusuku kakhulu. Thokozani. Ndlandla, I'm a fan. You are an intelligent, strong, and very insightful person. Oh, ngiyabonga. But I can't attest all of it to myself. Ulwazi oluningi kuqhamuka emathongweni. You know, uyakhula. Experience teaches you a lot. Experience teaches you a lot. Ukuhlangabezana nabantu, ukuxoxa nabantu teaches you a lot. When you are open to receiving knowledge, and when you don't come with that attitude and uthobela abantu, and allow yourself to receive ulwazi, you gain so much wisdom. But sifuna ukuba yinkunzi evuthayo, and sometimes we askakabi kwi-position yokuba inkunzi. Yabo iqhude molibuka lijaha inkukhu lishawe elinye iqhude. It's not ukuthi one day lelo qhude ngelihlule lelade lishaya, but lisadonsa amandla na lisakhula lisakhokha umoya until it gets to a position whereby it can beat the older chicken. Yabo, and liyathoba meqhamuka leqhude litraphayo liyabaleka because liyazi ukuthi angakafiki lapha. Mase lifika lapha nawo wabona ngahle amaqhude ebhekana. Yabo, bathi hangibheme. Saxoxa nje songena phezu kweindaba. Nje songena phezu kweindaba. Hawu Shabalala. Oh hayi, nakho ukukhala kahle kuloud. That's okay phezulu kwayo. Hayi Shabalala ugayile lo, hayi ufika uthi hu. Thokoza. Yeah, urithabile Thokoza gogo. I'm assuming ugogo ne. You never know these days. Mhlawumbe who they them. Sisiyasaba. Sisiyasaba ngoba nje the minute you speak on truth, ngoba abantu abakwazi ukumelana neqiniso, they always want to hide behind ukuthi uyabandlulula igroup ethile uyabandlulula igroup ethile. And I think ilento ukuthi eyohlezi sishonisa emuva ukuthi we don't want people to disagree with our views and our way of thinking, so you want to inflict titles on them ukuthi they're not open to receiving us, they're not open to accepting us, or they're not open to understanding us. And that's not the issue. The issue is kuneqiniso esifike sisebenze phezu kwalo. Bese masisebenza phezu kwalo, how then you decide to perceive it and understand that that's on you. Yabo. Ngibane nje nami ngizondwe ekhaya. Into ngiyayikhuluma ukuthi wena uzoyithatha kanjani, uzoyi-interpreta kanjani, uzoyi-understand kanjani, that's on you. But iqiniso ngizokutshela ukuthi limla ajiki alihlehli, this is what it is. But ke siyaza lapha. Yabo izinye izinto fanele uthi uzibhemela kancane aphambi ukuthi uzikhulube. Ngizobheba impela nje ubheba impela ngoba indaba yiningi. Okay. Right. Bakufuna ukuvuka naleli igedla lela. Hayi soke sikuthole kahle. Amen wabazalwane. Thokozani bogogo nomkhulu. Ngiyabikelela donke. Ngibonga ukuthi ke siphinde sibe nosuku ukuthi sihlangane sixoxa. Those that wanted to prepare their dreams, abafuna ngibahlaziyele, njengenjwayelo, you can do so. Ngizonihlaziyela, but as you know me by now, iphupho melithi nje kujulile inkulumo ezanalo, you know I don't discuss it on lives. I believe in respecting idlozi lomuntu and respecting inkulumo efike nedlozi, and some conversations are not for here. But I will tell you if this conversation is not for here. Togoza. But yes, I'll tell you if some conversations are not for here. Because I'm also very annoyed by a system. Yanamhlanje. Yokuthi sesihlola abantu kwama-live, sesihlola abantu sesihlola abantu go TikTok no Instagram. Yabonga khehla. I'm very annoyed. Here's my thing. So lately, what I've done, ngikhathela ukuxoxelwa abantu bebefika. Abantu bafike bathi gogo abangaziyo ke wathi emkhulu phela siyalahlekiswa sazi ukuthi what ngoba sitshelwa kanje masiqoqa ulwazi ko Google phela isangoma esikhulu ngiphike nami naso masiqoqa ulwazi ko Google nani nansi into evelayo masiqoqa ulwazi ko social media nansi into evelayo hayi khehla musungilinga hey bo
Ngiyacisha nje.
Yaxolake yazi nani ngangimzonda kabukude lento uzofika ngehlela bafikile mina senze ukuxolela sengazinika ngathoba ngehlela ukuthi nje nathi impilo yami yagwaya. Okay. Number one, angilwe, but I have a problem. Mina ngilawulwa idlozi. Njengoba ngilawulwa idlozi ngilwela idlozi lami. Ngilwela izinkulumo ezifika nabantu abadala, ngilwela abantu engibalaphayo. Ekulweni la kwami and the people I deal with. Ngeke manje ngizibize umholi wamadlozi. I think there's self-proclaimed titles that are happening with healers that I have a very big problem with. Leonda ayiphilisi and iveling include kwinkulumo zakho ozinika abantu. Iyang include even though awungibizanga. Iyang include because people are now titling themselves as I'm the speaker of ancestors. Ma pamadlozi because awama wakhulunyelwa wena. sifike siqale sibalahle lapha abantu yabo, hence why we also have problems mesiyotwasa kubantu that title themselves that way. Nansi litry leli, that's why nginenkinga ngayo yabo. That's why ngifike nibe nenkinga because already niya kubantu that have self-proclaimed titles of I am the speaker of ancestors, I am umlweli or ummeli wedlozi. Immeli weliphi idlozi? Ifanele uspecify ukuthi ngummeli wedlozi lami. Lapho ngeke sikuphikise, ummeli wedlozi lakho, ulwela idlozi lakho, ulwela abantu ohamba nabo. Those very same healers are the ones that give themselves titles that then hlola abantu online, on social media platforms. Udokotela, because that's what we are. We are doctors. How, as a doctor, do you put somebody, for example, ngizothatha ugogo la uRethabile, ngithi okay, gogo Rethabile, nansi udaba lakho. Yabo limi kanje, ne? And I'm doing a whole full examination of wena and your people on a live that has 100 people already on it. Lo muntu loyo uyamhlambalaza and you are disrespecting the private conversation that ancestors have brought for that person. You are exposing ancestors of that person bengacelwanga. Alikho idlozi elicalela ukuthi mina ngicela indaba zami uzikhiphe ku live. Mina nginabantu ngeke ngimhlolela ngithola ukuthi hayibo ukhokho wakhe wayethwele or ukhokho wakhe wayethakatha or ukhokho wakhe wayenezikhwama ezingcolile. And as a result leyo nto isicindezela umntwana lo engimhlolayo. Things like that are no one's business. And I think if we, as people that go to get healing, because as you know, ngingaba umlaphi manje, but I also was once a patient. I was also once a person owahamba ethi uyolashwa ngixolele ngizofinyela man. Angumuntu nami owabiza ukuthi no mntanami sidinga ukuthi usukumeke manje uyolungisa izinkinga zethu kuqala ngaphambi ukuthi uyongena ephehlweni. And I spent a year doing that. A full year ngilashwa ngaphambi ukuthi ngingene ephehlweni. Yabo. And in doing so, I understand full well the journey of a person that gets healing and the emotional and spiritual drainage that comes from such a problem. Yabo. Kunezinto ezincane esifike sizenze ezifike zisicindezele. Because I think I even had a few people comment. There's a clip that I posted about ukuthwala nani ukuthi fanele si bheke umuntu othwele ngeke azaza akuhlolela umsamo ngeke azaza ulungise futhi because lamashushu lawa agijima emsamo wakhe, so ayikho into anganenzela yona. In saying that, then a few people are like ay manje ukuthi asakwazi ukuthemba because everybody says akathwele. And it's like, yes, abantu abaningi don't own ukuthi bathwele, but there's also a lot of people that own ukuthi bathwele, you know. The spectrum yabo. There are people that have no shame abayisho ukuthi hayi mina ngisithwalele but ngumlaphi ngathwasa in. Abanye abasho ukuthi ngathwasa, but there's simple things thina as abantu abafike bayolashwa ezingazibheka ukuthi it doesn't make sense. Even a person doesn't need to tell you ukuthi uthwele for you to be able to see ukuthi uthwele, you know. Or if the math is not mathing, if equation ayibalance, you must know ukuthi lo muntu uthwele, you know. Ayikho like into ezidinga ukuthi ube a spiritual person okwazi ukubona mawufika emsamo umuntu for you to know ukuthi umuntu uthwele. If something does not balance, yabo, then it does not balance. ngoba number one so khona abanye bethu esinamadlozi asigidelayo yabo ayasigidela ayasenzela izinto ezinhle kuyavuma emsamu kuyachichima ekhaya uyabona ukuthi no the blessings are open, you know. Khona abanye bethu abanjalo, but even in being like that kuneyinkinga ezizofika. There's a stage where idlozi, I used to explain this to amathwasa ukuthi you have to understand ungathwasa uqede, but you don't know what's waiting for you on the other side. Masusuthwasile kungenzeka kube nesikhathi where idlozi lakho lifuna ukubhodla izinkamba phela ade lizidla, so ungalaphi for a year yabo adulapha ephehlweni but awulaphi manje uhleli nemithi. It can be even 2 years. Or ungaphuma ulaphe and in healing uthola ukuthi 6 months into that healing there's a dry spell. Abantu abezi umsebenzi unqabile udila nenkinga left right and center. Yinto efica everybody, nami ikingifica. You know, there was a period in my life where I had to deal with it. The first time I dealt with it was after ngithwasile. After I had finished uphehlo lami, meanwhile ephehlweni ngithi mina bengilapha nje from time ngimisela igobongo bekhonjiswa abantu abafika ekhaya, bafika ngempela ekhaya before bafike ngitshela ukuthi kuzofika umuntu ukuthi lo muntu udinga ukuthi nokuthi umnike umcharge imali engaka yabo. And 99% of the time the money I would charge the person was the exact amount they had brought for that healing, even though I hadn't told them how much something would be. It would be the exact amount. So ngayenza leyo nto through my initiation. Nhlanhla leyo ke both my gobelas, even though I had issues with them, but the one thing they both agreed on was mntanam, if idlozi letha abantu ungabanqabi balaphe. So I go home during that period and be allowed to go home ngiyolapha labo bantu bese ngibuyele ephehlweni. I thought how I was functioning in ephehlweni was how I was going to function njengoba ngiqeda ukuthwasa. Awusengiyisangoma mos manje sengi-free. I'm free of my gobelas, so I can do what I need to do and I'm free to heal these people 24/7. Lathi idlozi unamanga. Ngahlala for months not knowing ukuthi hayibo kanti le mithi izobola, like what's going to happen njengoba kunje yabo. When I had given up ukuthi ayishuthi ke mhlambe ke I was meant to be one of those people that only heal ngoba ngithwasa, and after ngiqeda ukuthwasa shuthi ke ngizohlala, like ngangisengibeke yonke into phansi. Idlozi la ngivusa ngo5 ekseni ngathola icall ngima, that time sengihlala kephi, ngihlala emzini. Ngathola icall uma, it was 5 in the morning. Athi ma hey kunabantu la bathi beze kuwena and bathi kuyaphuthuma. Waphinda wavuka kumsebenzi lapho wabamandla yabo. And then for those like me that carry idlozi nesithunywa, there's a time where idlozi can work for a good 6 months or 1 year. Lilapha left right and center. After that lithule lishi isithunywa ke sithi hayi sekuvuka mina ke manje ke sesiyasebenza ke manje ulapha abantu ngesithunywa. That can happen. Hayi idemoni leli ongithathali ilona isihlalo sami lapha emsamo. Hey yabo mase kuthiwa siyahlaselwa siphile, angiqhubeka ngigcina khona ngilandela isihlalo sami. Yeah, so that can happen as young to step alone. So that can happen. But I think we so in the mindset ukuthi sidlala abantu ngiyabonga uthi nxa ngiyabonga. But yeah, like that can happen. It's not something that's shocking. Tina esaphahla amadlozi ngempela, esafundiswa salawulwa amadlozi ethu, we know ukuthi how kuphilwa kanjani edlozini, and ukuthi mase sekufika isimo kusuke kuneyinkinga kushuthi ezoqhamuka ezidinga ukuthi idlozi lakho like libhekane nalezo zimpi lezo. Linqobe lezo zimpi khona lizokwazi ukuba namandla okubuyela kulapheni abantu because bazalwane inkinga zabantu ziyasinda. Ngiyabonga Khehla. Yabo. Inkinga zabantu ziyasinda. They need you to be at optimum. Nakho kama bundles esingisafuna ukubaleka awunazo okay. Yabo. It needs you to be at optimum strength. Yabo. Dinga ukuthi ube esimeni la ukuthi mekufika umuntu oshawe isilwane esinzima esingabulala kwawena ukuthi ukwazi uba namandla okubhekana naso. Yabo. Sifuna ukuthi mekuzongena ithwasa zonke inkinga uzozi absorber from lelo thwasa ukwazi ukuthi uziqonde ngqo uzinqobe. There's so many things that are needed for you to be properly functioning nedlozi lakho that if you are not equipped idlozi liyabona ukuthi no kunenkinga ezayo othi ngimisa umsebenzi khona sizokwazi ukuthi siqale sibhekane lele nkinga ke ngaphambi ukuthi siqhubekele phambili. But asakwazi ukubekezelela isimo ubone nje abantu abathi balaphi left right and center balaphi izilwane balanda izilwane. People want to look like they are the epitome of healers. They are the epitome of healing. And edlozini fanele kuhlezi kubovu ku yellow ku blue egcekeni for you as a person ozolasho ubone ukuthi idlozi lami liyasebenza. I need to appear as a person onganayo inkinga okwazi ukuthi noma kuthiwani kodwa nje kuyaphithizela egcekeni. And it is not so. And people that represent that bayanikhohlisa. Njengoba kunemithi nje idonsa amathwasa, ithwasa mina ngiyaqala ukuthi lidonswa ngemithi. Ithwasa bengazi ukuthi mina lifike lingene iqathatha lona. Without it being convinced by you ukuthi hayi fana uzothwasa lana. Baningi I can't even count how many people engangikhonjiswa kufana bazothwasa la ngizothusa umuntu usethwasa endaweni yokuthi aphinda abe nenkinga lapha abuya yaza la sefuna ukuzolungiselwa lezo inkinga. How am I not going to be interested in helping you when already waqala waphambana nedlozi lakho wayolashwe intabeni la ungafuna ulashwe khona? These are things that happen. Kodwa ukuze ukwazi ukuthi labo bantu bahlale la, it is freedom of choice. When abantu subabophela ngemithi endaweni, you take away their freedom of choice. Spirituality doesn't teach imprisonment. It is the ultimate freedom of self. Usuke uqaqekile kwamaketango, uqaqekile ezibophweni. Ngoba ngisho sikhulekela abantu emanzini siyasho ukuthi ngicela ngiqaqe lezibopho namafindo lawa aboshiwe phezulu kwempilo yakhe umntwana. It is freedom. And in that freedom, akusho futhi uthi le nkohlakala eqhuma ezigodlweni zabantu. Where today you are seeing, I saw a video. This video left me shooketh. As abasha basho njalo uthi ushuk. La ngisho ngishuk ukuthi there's if idlozi alhamselani nomuntu nizongixolela bazalwane ngizoyibeka ngesizulu ngendlela engiunderstanda ngayo. Angisho ukuthi ngiya-offenda because I have one of my closest people is what I'm about to explain, and it's got nothing to do with offending but ukukhuluma phezulu kwesizulu. Umuntu meyistabane noma ethanda nobulilo bodwa leyo nto isiyande excessively ukuthi abantu emaphehlweni bayizita abantu ukufica uphehlo uthola ukuthi out of the twasses that are there, there's only one female and the other 9 or the other 10 yitabani. Mina ngiqala today loyo nto. Namhlanje into esiqala namhlanje ezweni lethu njengoba libhubha. There was no such back in the day. Ayingoba bezingekho itabani bezikhona. But not at the level esekwenzeka ngayo. Namhlanje usukwazi ngisho ukuthola men or women that go into uphehlo not being abantu abazitabane kodwa umuntu abuye ephehlweni eseyisona. And masusuzwa istory sakhe belalo ugobela like me being a woman onamakhehla ngilala amathwasana ami ebantu besifazane abanogogo Because laba banamakhehla bangakhuza ibhadi. Uyabo. Whereas abantu abanogogo are usually softer spirits. They're very soft spoken, or uthola ukuthi imaya yabo is more softer and more open to being led. Ngobani ohamba nogogo, ogogo njengoba usuke ubona umuntu wesifazane isikhathi esiningi ukalidwe umuntu wesilisa. Not because they don't have their own ideas or their own way of thinking or their own way of wanting to do things, but they are open to being led. Different to amakhehla. Amakhehla abanenkani. Abantu abanamakhehla isikhathi esiningi banenkani, abalawuleki kalula, ubafaka kulayini kanzima. Because amakhehla ayizinkunzi and they function as izinkunzi. That's why isikhathi esiningi if ugobele namakhehla njengami, I will butt heads namathwasa aba-dominate amakhehla. That's just a normal thing. It's not something difficult. As long as umuntu ehlonipha, ekwazi futhi uku-understand isimo ukuthi ngizothoba like her, it's not an issue. But people are now out of the understanding ngoba emakhaya esiphuma kuwona abasazenza izinto. They are out of the understanding of who am I in my spiritual self versus who am I as a person. Who am I as uthandiwe is different to who am I as umkhulu so and so. My spiritual names are not dinky. Ngifuna mina ngithatha kahle ningithathe as uthandiwe ningangithathi as umkhulu so and so. Umkhulu so and so wami. Uyabo. So there's a very distinct difference between umkhulu so and so no thandiwe. Uthandiwe is a certain way, umkhulu so and so is a certain way. And lo mkhulu so and so kunezinto angahamselani nazo uthandiwe anganankinga nazo. How we view impilo is different. Umkhulu so and so khona izinto akhona ukuthi as accept, uthandiwe unezinto angakhona ukuzi accept. But khona la sifike sihlangane khona ukuthi hayi no so babili siyavumelana ngalento le. Yabo. So people have failed to understand who they are in their spiritual identities and take their spiritual identities and inflict it on their personal selves. Kunabantu and baningi sengibahlolile ababe nalenkinga. Kunabantu abahamba namakhehla. And even I remember one was used to say to me ukuthi hey uvelele ukushelwa abantu besifazane umuntu wesifazane athi nje from the time I was in high school abantu besifazane bebengishela left right and center ne. The same thing with abantu besilisa abahamba nogogo. They would always attract other people it was just a common denominator. And it's because umuntu mekbheka ufika kubheke esimeni sakho somoya and not esimeni sakho of who you are. And that's why even lento ngingisho ukuthi yazi monedlozi and idlozi lakho ligezekile liqhakaze uyashelwa. It's abantu bacela uxolo nje because kunale glow ogijima nayo eqhamuka edlozini. And even though that person doesn't know ukuthi into ebadonsayo into abathatha yile idlozi leli elihle, but it's still the fact that into abathatha yile idlozi elihle. So ubusy umuntu wesifazane uhamba namakhehlo suthana nabantu besifazane. Not knowing it's because of leli khehla. Amakhehla obviously they're going to be attracted to other women. And I say this also with the knowledge of how much ngikula. I always saw abantu besilisa as chumi, like hey bro, like even the way mina ngifunda belungweni ngithi abantu sasibabiza ngo bro, yo bro, like what's going on, hey bro, we need to meet. Abajida ke mengelokishini ke ngisho mfethu nganganayo lento ukuthi hey how butiza, like what's going on, ithini into yakho nganganayo lento. Umfana once nje waqala waveza impawu zokungishela ngangibaleka ngeenyawo zombili. I didn't have time for it. Ngangamfuni umuntu wesilisa. My skin would crawl umuntu wesilisa methu uyaqala uyashela. Because why leli khehla liphezulu kwami and likhuza ibhadi ukuthi hayibo ngashelwa kangaka ngumuntu wesilisa. But when I met somebody who umoya wami wawuhambiselana naye, and njengo Shabalala, because mind you, it's not like I didn't see guys that I thought were cute, like, oh, I'd like to date him, oh my gosh, like, why not? You know, it's not like I didn't see guys like that. But the minute they get close to me, ngangivele angazi kwakuvukani, ngivele nje kuncinze kube nzima ngingahlaliseki. No Ushabalala at the time, yena in his teen years, when I met him, he was still a teenager. You're still a teen now. Yeah, you're still a teen. Yeah, you're 19, you're still a teen. When I met him, he was very dominated by ogogo. Umuntu vele ohamba nogogo. Yabo. So wayengayena insizwa ishela, you know, and why dancer, I think I've said this before, he used to be a dancer. So I hamba le ndawo zokudansa no bhuti bakhe. Meyile lapho, hayo bhuti bakhe lalela amantombazane lalingekho lamahala. But yena, he just wouldn't want to interact in that manner. And no umuntu vele soft spoken or phansi or akanalo lolulaka lamakhehla, akanawo umsindo, izinto akazithatheli phezulu. So because he wasn't up and down nabantu besifazane, sekuzothiwani manje uthanda abantu besilisa. People are failing to first understand themselves spiritually so that they can understand ukuthi kahle nansi into engiyithandayo. But inkinga yami ukuthi nangu umuntu uhamba nalo moya nawo ofana nowami owenza ukuthi lento esiyenzayo ahlangana. So manje ubona nje kuchifika up and down igodlo, kuchifika abantu abathandana nobulili obodwa. It's not normal. It's not normal. And it's because amadlozi awaxwayi ngenxa yokuthi ba understand ukuthi ayivele mina ngugogo ngifuna umuntu oyikhehla. I remember umuntu okwathwasa la ekhaya ngixoxela ukuthi where they used to be healed before, uba ithwasala lapho lanonkosikazi. But megida, you would swear kugida umuntu wesifazane. Even when they did things, kwangathi umuntu wesifazane, ama mannerisms akhe kwako umuntu wesifazane. Kodwa wayeshade umuntu wesifazane umuntu wesilisa. But it takes you understanding yourself spiritually first before you pursue a relationship. That's why ngisho ukuthi abantu abazile, because lento ila bisexual ufika ungene khona uthanda ngala. Awuzazi ukuthi kahle kephi la owakhona ngoba nawe confused as a spiritual being. Ispirit sakho mhlambe sithanda abantu besifazane ngoba siyikhehla noma sithanda abantu besilisa ngoba suwogogo. And wena uthanda, if you're a man uthanda abantu besifazane, if you're a woman uthanda abantu besilisa. But your taste is shaking ngenxa ukuthi you're not spiritually aligned. Abantu khona abantu abadinga nje spiritual alignment ukuze bazi ukuthi kahle this is what I am. Asiphikisi ukuthi vele uthanda ubulili obodwa, then do you boo, like asili. But if you're not going to understand yourself first and nizojola nje nijole njengoba nijola nje, then kwenzeka lo monakalo. Yebo Shabalala.
No, but sibambe lapho for now. Just answer a few.
Oh, okay. What are the questions? Ngifuna ukurally ikude nami ifoni. Ngiphendule. And also while Shabalala bheka lembuzo lebekiwe. Also, if you are umuntu othanda ubulili obufanayo.
Leave value the volume. I don't know why it's doing that.
Okay. If you are umuntu othanda ubulili obodwa, ayikho into elamula njengokubika. Uhambe uyobika emsamo noma ke ukuthi usangaphansi kwesandla sabazali ubikelwe ukuthi hayi umntwana wethu ukuthi khona inkinga eziningi zizokhona ukuthi inqandeke. Okay, let me go to the questions quickly.
Sithi zama.
Yeah, ngiyabona. Usithuthukile ne Makhosi, what does it mean when you dream of being in your homestead and someone gives you umkhonto and khomba inxeba kwinkomo, a black and white? I'm not married. What do I do if it's a marriage sign? Gogo, I'd need more information. Uganile, and if uganile, ungakacaci kusho ukuthi ukhonjiswa inkomo ofanele ukhishwe ngayo ekhaya, because you need to understand mozocaca ne, so when you're going to do a traditional wedding, a Zulu wedding, inkomo zibe mbili, kube le nkomo ofike ihlatshwe ekhaya la uzalelwa khona, so at your homestead, ukukhipha wena as umntwana ukuthi hayi usuyogana uyongena emathongweni amkhwenyana, khona ke nenkomo ke efika ihlatshwa kwamkhwenyana efika ikufake emathongweni akhona. So le ekufanele ukuthi mayihlatshwe, so the cow la ufanele ufaka inxeba khona leyo nkomo leyo ungenze ukuthi ukhonjiswa inkomo okufanele ukuthi mawenzele lo msebenzi leyo abayifunayo bona. If then, because this can also speak on umemulo, akekho umuntu osifazana ongadinga ukukhuliswa. It is literally a rite of passage that is mandatory for a girl child. Ngoba ngisho una 50, moganile umemulo nje 100% uyadingeka. Uyabo, umemulo uyadingeka ukuthi mawukhuliswe. If it so happens ukuthi you are going to get married, usulotsheliwe kwenziwani, everything's been done, inkomo yamemulo ungakhonjiswa futhi nayo, kuthiwa hayi nansi inkomo edingakalayo ukuze ukwazi ukuthi ukhuliswe. I need more context in terms of what then indaba shaya.
Aqhubeka lapho.
So I'd need more context in terms of ukuthi isimo sakho sithini, so that I can give you more clarity. But whatever that you need, whether it be umemulo or it be ukuthi inkomo fanele ukhishwa ngayo emathongweni, bukhonjiswa leyo nkomo abayifunayo ukuthi for you specifically bafuna le nkomo kanje ozokwazi ukuthi ke ma uhlatshelwe yona. All right. Then gogo la matapelo ne, I hope I'm saying it correctly. Ngiyaxolisa if I'm not. Towards gogo, I dreamt of myself being chased by many white horses, and all of a sudden there's no one around me, even on the streets, until I found myself flying as I had nowhere to run. Okay, number one, Mojahwa ama ihashi is a spirit animal that falls under idlozi nesithunwa. So it's an animal that can fall either or. It's actually a very powerful, I hate using this word, but it's actually a very powerful spiritual animal in terms of cleanliness. Because if you think of even a horse la kungcole khona ayiwaphuza amanzi akhona. There's la umoya wakhona ushake ungekho right, alihambi ihashi noma kuthiwa ukhomba kanganani ukuthi sidlula la kuleli hlathu sihambe kule ntaba. If there's something spiritually not right lapha ihashi alihambi. Yabo, it is very inomoya odonsayo kakhulu. So njengoba likujaha nje, bujaho yona either idlozi nesithunwa or even both. Somebody that, or amathongo that walked with both amadlozi neyithunwa. That's for one. And then masusuphelelo indawo yokuhamba, then you start flying. Again, undiza is actually a good thing because kusuke kukhuluma phezu kwedlozi lokhozi. So ukhozi is an eagle in English. It's also another spirit animal. A lot of people end up dreaming flying over water, which is something eagles do a lot, where they fly over water. Or uthola ukuthi ubone i-eagle ihlezi phezu kwenhlwathi, uyabo. So nakhona ikhombisa isimo sedlozi. As to what capacity, I don't know, because again, there's not a lot of context within this dream. But lapho bukhonjiswa izimo zikamoya yabo ezikulandelelayo. Nokuthi ke umoya futhi ohamba ukukhusele ukuthi masusuphelelwa indawo yokubaleka noma yokucasha ifike uvele engathi usuyandiza. Shuthi ke lapho ke kuvele umoya wokhozi olifela ngidizisa ke. So it speaks on to isimo sakho sikamoya. But again, as I said, as to what capacity, I can't tell you because context. Amaphupho adinga context kakhulu. Either context of previous dreams or dreams after that give clarity as to nasi sithombe sokuthi kwenzakalani ngawe. Ulanda lana thokoza Makhosi thokozani gogo. Uglamzi thokoza gogo ndiphuphe twice helicopter crashing. One time yawa endlini yomuntu kwelinye aeroplane nearly crashed kimi noma sengizitshele ukuthi ngizofa. Hayi gogo ngicela uyobheka into zakho. When you dream of things that are accidents, kusuke kubika inkinga ukuthi kunenkinga ekhona, and lenkinga le kuwena ivela njengento eqhamuka esibhakabhakeni, so eqhamuka from the sky, and that is problematic because kushuthi kunento esimeni sikamoya eyonakele noma inkinga. So my advice would be cela uyobheka into zakho because ingozi nje on its own is a problem. Mophupha ingozi, especially one that is speaking to you ukuthi na uzuyitshela ukuthi hayi kuphelileke ngami la, shuthi something is a problem. And on top of that, ingozi esuke iqhamuka esibhakabhakeni, that is a very big problem because leyo ikhuluma esimeni sikamoya ukuthi kushuthi kunenkinga esimeni sikamoya that could somewhere down the line become very harmful to you and your mother. Okay, Tozan Gogo, what does it mean if I see 3 hats in my yard with the cow standing outside each hat? Okay, lokho kukabili ne. It can either mean ukuthi i-hat ne-hat inomnikazi wayo okufanele uyakhe egcekeni. Kunedlozi or ngizothi ithongo nethongo ekufanele ukuthi malifakwe lapho kuleyo hat leyo. Noma bukhonjiswa ukuthi lezi ndlu zo3 ezabantu abadala, so bafuna ukuthi uzakhela abantu abadala lawo ma-hats lawo. So that is the explanation for that one. Beku ufusi mtaung ngiyacabanga ukuthi ngikhuluma nokhehla la. Okay, uMathaphela uphinde wabuza gogo, what does it mean being chased by a cow in a dream in real life? Again, that's not a good dream, ukujahwe inkomo. Because inkomo speaks on abantu abadala. So inkomo is a representation of amathongo akho noma abantu abadala nje basekhaya. So ancestors that you come from. And mojahwe yona kusuke kunomonakalo okhona. Into edala ukuthi kube ngathi lelo thongo shuthi khona into ekujahela yona ephazamisayo that odinga ukuthi mawuyisukumele uyilungise. Because kushuthi liphenduka either isitha kuwena noma ifuna uzokupanisha for something. Shuthi either khona into yenzile that they chasing you to punish you for, okanye kusuke kunomonakalo okhona esimeni samathongo okufanele ukuthi makulungiswe. Okay, Pinda abuza la usithuthukile, what does it mean when you dream of leaving school, buying a school and designing uniforms? Okay. Buying a school. I'm reluctant to say this, but I'm going to say it because I don't know you and I don't know what's going on with you spiritually. Ne? A school, mophuphe iskole, kusuke indawo yokufunda yabantu abanomoya, right? Whether abathandazi or izangoma or whatever the case may be. But kusuke kukhomba esimeni semfundo kamoya. Now, mophuphe ngathi uyasithenga kusho ukuthi kunento, there's a process that you probably need to do yokusikhanyisela leso sikole kuze sibe yakho, so ube nesikole sokufundisa spiritually. So like ithiwani initiation school, isikole sokuthwasisa. As to what capacity, I cannot say. And then designing uniforms. Kushuthi kuleso skole kunabantu bomoya abahlukene abazofika that are gonna need a certain type of design for each person. Njengo jazz, umuntu mhlambe omthandaze, for example, jazz bethu baningi. There's so many different designs, so many. Ningadidaniswa abantu namhlanje where you post, Shabalala was saying this, there's ujazi, awuphupha and watshelwa ngawo, and then uhambile wayenza, so he fetched it today. Fetched it today, and uthi hey, and ubumuhle, like I couldn't help but look and ncoma uthi hayi wamuhle mthandazi, yabo. Wathi nje akawufuni ukuposta because angawuthola usugcwele izwe lonke seabantu sebenawo, you know, ithunywa. Because I have ujazi that I see every second person with it now, like I'm just shocked, yabo. Ujazi whether wesithunywa or wedlozi, each person had their design. Kune design ezoqhamuka ukuthi lolu phehlo okulona, I think I'm not sure. Lol phehlo kulona, if ku phehlo like your true phehlo ohamselana nemoya yakho, kune design that is going to be similar to the other people uthwasa nabo, or if not the other people uthwasa nabo but yokobela. There are designs that are going to be very similar or the same, both edlozini and esithunyweni. So those similarities can be there, right? Abantu osephehlweni nabo organe ugobela wakho. But there are going to be slight differences based on wena umoya wakho uqobo ukuthi uyisimo kanjani, udonsa amandla kanjani, ufunctiona kanjani. Nowadays, you post ispeaker, you find 5, 6, 10, 20 other healers with leso speaker. You post ujazz, you find 20, 30, 40 other healers nalo jazz. Kunabantu that badlala ukustalker imimoya yabantu ukuthi oh hayi ugogo bani ugqoka kanjena, I think nami ngangayiphupha leyo nto umuntu enza into ayibone kuwena, and that's not how imoya functions. Mina uma wami unojazi seprofethwe wona, the same jazi aprofethwe wona eZayoni by two different people. Ne? One was from a person or prophet Zayoni, the church, and then another person was prophet Echibini. They said the exact same jazi. My then advice to my mother was, Ma, ungathungi jazi ol prophecy ungakaliboni wena, because bona bangalibona, like they can see the general design of the jazi, but there's going to be little elements abazozikhombisa wena specifically, because ezinye izinto zidinga wena nesithunywa sakho, wena nedlozi lakho uqobo, inkulumo ephakathi kwenobabili ukuthi this is what it is. I can be shown ukuthi ujazi that you need is blue, or ujazi that you need is navy, or ujazi that you need is purple, or ujazi that you need is red. I can be shown that. Ngikutshela ukuthi hayi wena ugqoka ujazi obovu or yellow or white or onjani, I can be shown those things. I can be shown isiphiko ukuthi hayi unesiphiwo esimhlophe esinokuyelo, but idlozi lakho or isithunywa sakho then comes and says yebo leli jazi likanje kodwa lidinga isiphambano la, right? Or lidinga itala, or lidinga ukuthi kube nesithombe selanga la. There are designs that are specific to wena nesithunywa sakho and its functionality that speaks to you personally. We were driving on the freeway, and there was ubaba who was standing by the freeway, efaka ujazi wakhe. I have never seen such a jazzy. Ngaze ngasho ngathi suka madoda what amthandazi. Ujazi onje angikwazi nguqale ngaye. Ngobani wenze into ayikhonjiswe yona isithunywa sakhe. So the design was very like confusing. But it made sense for him. Wafika washo ukuthi udinga into kanje wathunga into ngoba that's how isithunywa sakho sidonsa amandla mesikukhombisa isembatho esithile ingoba sifuna ukuthi siphakamise amandla. But if you are not going to wait for that messaging, you're not going to wait for leyo nkulumo, then you're going to take away amandla isithunywa sakho by putting on something that does not speak to them and does not promote them and does not baphakamise and elevate them. You don't do into ongakakhanyiselwa ngayo. I can show you or I can tell you what I'm being shown on you. But there's certain specifications that are going to come from your ancestors. And leyo nto leyo, if ingalindwa, then ngenhluke from those people, yazi sike siya eMpophomeni. We go eMpophomeni, if I can tell you, ithusi that I carry, nethusi elphethe Shabalala, I am yet to see another healer elphethe lelo thusi emanzini eMpophomeni or in Mpophoma, the waterfall that we go to. I am yet to find healers that are there carrying lelo thusi. You know what thusi I see? I see khona lele lingaka lele ngithi mina lasechibini because kakhulu abantu basechibini that use it. It speaks to their way of functioning in moya yabo, ne? But if you go to eZion, eZion uzofica every type of thusi you can think of, even ones that you never thought can be together. Wabona nje ehlanganisiwe uthi hayisuka madoda. Lama thusi la yabo. Ithusi is like that metal insimbi. It's like made out of steel. The most common one, lenjoba tingisho uthi yasechibini. It's like roughly that high, and it has like a round top. Uyabo. It looks like iqhabanga, but elensimbi. Yithusi lele lomthandazo lesithunzi. Every single healer or umthandazi that I have met with lapha eMpophomeni ngimbona nalelo thusi. Every now and again I'll see the one that is phambano esifishane, but that's about it. But if you look at ithuselam, if I had to show you guys ithuselam or ithusela Shabalala, it's very long, it's got designs. Mine has even a chicken at the top of it. Ikute, because it speaks to my spirituality and isithunywa sami. Yini abantu abakwazi ukulandela imoya yabo, even ubuthandazi babantu sike sifike lapha eMpophomeni. There's a side that me and Shabalala like to go to, right? Because every time we under there, like kunenkulumo ekhona, like we hear the things that need to be heard. Yabo. The minute we're there, uthola ukuthi they were going to the other side, right? Because there's like 3 divisions laphayana ongakwazi ukuthi or 3 pots okwazi ukungena ngaphansi kwawo laphayana kule Mpophoma, so the waterfall elaphayana. They'll go to the other ones, but then they see us going there and uShabalala, his kehla lo isithunywa sakhe esekehla phela. Idlozi lakhe logogo, but ikhehla lakhe lesithunywa will wake up. He's a very soft-spoken person. The minute he goes under Mpophoma, something happens. He just becomes a different person. Zipop. The minute they see us going there, ubona kahle umuntu uzasuswe. Mina I was taking somebody, Sino Shabala, we took somebody on the waterfall. Uyazaz. On this live, but we took them to the waterfall. While I was praying under the waterfall, I was being removed by another healer, actively moving me. ngoba efuna ukungena yena nomuntu wakhe. Because should babona ukuthi ayinansi iside lempopho ekhaya, it doesn't work like that. Nathi siya laphayana because that's where our ancestors draw us to. That's where isithunywa sethu draws us to. But we have cleansed people under the other side as well, and it's perfectly fine. Akukho la ukuthi inanka amandla amakhulu kunalawa, no. But to us it just says la isithunywa sakhe asimlawula sikhuluma. Because people are trying to represent izinto abanganazo. Sizolwa yazi izwe njengoba libhubha kanje silwizimpi yabantu abathi babalaphi bengabona. Bafuna uku-appear as abalaphi. If you're meant to be famous as a healer, you'll be famous as a healer. No one can take that from you. Uzalu imbethu, uzalu nayo, eyakho. Uzoba famous whether you're on some TV show or you're not on a TV show. Uzowaziwa ezweni. Because your ancestors deemed it so. But we are so thirsty as healers to be famous. We are so thirsty as healers to be famous. That we are doing things as pambana nomoya and as ngazona ngoba we want to appear ukuthi having sebenzi. Mina, my ancestors will speak for themselves. If you don't believe in my healing, that's okay. I shouldn't have to post all the people that I've healed and post the messages they send to me. I get DMs all the time. Hey Gogo, ngiyabonga inkulumo that I watched your video and it brought so much of ukuphila kumina. Oh, I've used this thing or this smoothie or this swash of yours. It helped me here, it helped me here. I don't need to post that so that nizobona ukuthi hayi Makhosi yasebenza. Because one day, what if you figure and I can't help you? Then uzothi angisebenzi because I couldn't help you. What if I'm not meant to help you? And that's okay. That's okay. But asifuna ukuhluleka, asifuna ukuhlulwa. Ngizohlulwa ubani? Angeke ngikwazi. Ubani nje izangoma ixabana zodwa online. Ngiyayiqala in my life. Isithunzi sedlozi sikephi lapho. Idlozi inesithunzi kabi. Mina my Gobela, not the first one, the second one. Mina uGobela wami ayimfana ayiwayinyisa. Isibhaxu. Mina my Gobela had no problems ukutshela ukuthi lalela la. Ngizokhumula lokhololo, ngikwenze busy. She had no problems beating somebody up. Masusumumla. She had no problems. But you have to get her to such a level where Idlo's like it deems it okay. Because it took a lot for her to get there. She didn't just randomly get there. Because Mama Mfundisi as well. So there were things that obona ukuthi yabona Idlozi la sekuvuka lona ke sekuyilona ke lifuna ukushaya umuntu. Not these things that you see nowadays. Abantu baxabanela ukuthi hey manje mina you kopela mina ini, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. There's so many things that we can fight about, and that's not one of them. Ukubanga amandla ukuthi mina okwami kungcono kunokwakho idlozi likephi lapho. Masisenibanga ukuthi mina there are a lot of things that I've seen other healers doing. Engizazi kahle ukuthi mina enza like high. I know for a fact ukuthi le iya like high. But I would never go online and be like, oh, a certain healer is copying me and this and that. If ubona ukuthi le ndlela engisebenza ngayo iyakubusisa, nawe ufuna ukusebenza ngayo, if it means the nation gets healed, I am happy. Anginandaba because angilahlekelwe ulutho ukuthi mina indlela engisebenza ngayo nawe ubona ukuthi fanele usebenze ngayo. Angilahlekelwe lutho. I'm not losing anything because bottom line, the people that need to get here, lago gatsheni, lago shabalala, they're going to get here. And the people that need to go to you will go to you. Unless ikubadonsa ngemkhuba ke le donsa abantu. But if it's not that and you just ichazile le way yami, then so be it. Likephi idlozi when healers are fighting amongst themselves about stupidity. Isithunzi sedlozi nisivikela nini? There are things okufanele uyishayile umuntu. Mina khona la ngibona ukuthi ngiphelele. Mina I've had a moment when cishe ngashaya ithwasa ngazibuza ngaziphendula ngathi inkosi nginika amandla. Ngathi today is not the day for it. Angasifaka enkingeni la kufanele ngiyogeza because the minute ubeka isandla kumuntu as idlozi, you need to go cleanse. As a healer, you can't put your hands on somebody. That's going to require a mbuzi or a chicken, depending on what the issue is. Because I've had a twasa hit a person like her, and that person had to buy a goat to cleanse into like her. You don't just put your hands on somebody. As yena gokuwesike ngoba wayethwasa. Uma ithwasa ke awushayi ngisho ingane, awushayi ngisho inkukhu, okhahle ngisho inja. Awusho ngisho ufuseke. Mina sengisanga uma ufuseke ngiyawusho ngisho ugcwale futhi ube mngaka. It's a fuseke. Yabo. But ukubeka umuntu esandla as a healer requires so much admin. I-admin edingakalayo if you put your hands on somebody because isandla somuntu omlaphi sibi. You know, I've minimized how much ngangishanga ingane zami. Mina ke those that know me know ukuthi ingane mayibheda hayilalela isibhaxo ngoba nami ngikhule ngaso and sangiphilisa. I remember umntanami, my eldest, did something that made me so angry. Ngamshaya. If I can tell you, I'm shying that badly because I think I'm shying sandla. Yes, I'm shying sandla. I'm shying sandla on her bum. Do you know where she was bleeding? On her feet. Iphuthe ngalenza ngamshayela esigodlweni. Sasala lesigodlweni ke at the time. Ngamshayela esigodlweni umntana maqhume enyaweni. Waba nengilonde enyaweni ngokuthi ngimbeka isandla. I-admin edingakalayo nje moshaya umuntu nje is too much. It's too much to the point where you like yazini, it's not even worth it. Kodwa today we have people abakwazi ukuthi nje ay manje mina ngizokukhombisa you don't know me. I don't know you. What do you mean?
Uqala phakula ngelihle Makhosi.
Yeah. Makhosi, what does it mean when you dream of renovations happening inside and outside the house? Okay. Mawuphupha ulungisa ngazajuluka. Oh.
Yes.
Ngiyashisa nale light is not helping. Okay. Load shedding nje ucisha nje. Oh, sekhona. Okay, mawuphupha ulungisa. Ne? Ngizothatha ngikubeke njengokwakha. Usho ukuthi kunezinto efanele ukuthi maziqaqeke bese zilungiswa kabusha esimeni sakho. Whether it be esimeni somsamu noma esimeni sakho uqobo, but kunezinto okufanele ukuthi mayilungiswe and lezo zinto zilungiswaphi lapho ekhaya la uhlala khona. Right? So if, for example, uyiphupha lento useflatini, that means isho ikhomba ekhaya la uqhamuka khona. If it's at your own house, then it means kunezinto okufanele ukuthi ke mazixebulwe zakhiwe kabusha esimeni samoya ekhaya. Shuthi kunezinto ehamba either zangcoliswa noma zanamathelwa izinto ezimdaka ekufanele ukuthi mazixebulweke zilungiswe kabusha. And that can differ as per person. Ngadinga ukuthi mhlambe ke wena nabantu ohlala nabo mhlambe ekhaya nihambe niyohlambululwa mhlambe nibavuselele nimenzele ilade ekhaya or something. It just depends on izinto kanje, izinto engisho ukuthi zidinga ukuhlolwa ukuthi kahle kahle kwenzakalani. Ngoba uyisuke kudinga ukuthi kunento efanele ukuthi mayixebulwe bese ke iyakhiwe kabusha iqalwe phansi. Yabo. And kakhulu lento ngidonsa kumsamo. Ngidonsa more on umsamo. But ke I can't say for a fact njengoba sikhuluma phezulu kwale 2 sentences that you put here. All right. One last question, Gogo. I dreamt of a woman walking with a lion and she was speaking to me in a foreign language. Then she also turned into a lion in front of me and there was so much rain. Listen,
I
lelo
think
phupho.
liyaqhubeka with the second question.
Oh, yeah, Kuba.
Yeah, it's still umathathe
Oh,
load.
okay. Thank you, Kesh. Okay, so much rain. Since that dream of lions, there are whistles on my left ear. I was actually about to speak on this. Gantu uyaqhubeka. Left ear, and it strikes with a terrible headache.
Umathaphelo lo.
Amathapelo ne. All right. So this dream, lihle kakhulu gogo, there's nothing wrong with this dream. It speaks to esimeni sakho sikamoya. Kushuthi umuntu ohamba kakhulu nebhubesi ne. Spiritual animal, say ngizothi idlozi lakho is a lion, and lo gogo lo shuthi uyena umuntu ohamba naye, uyena umuntu responsible for you spiritually. Ngeke ngize ngisho ukuthi idlozi lakho, but it's somebody that is very dominant and responsible for you spiritually, right? Because abantu abaningi abakabavele when you dream as a person, kuqale kuvele labantu that are responsible for you spiritually ngaphambi kokuthi kuvele idlozi. Okay, so umuntu lo that's responsible for you, kushuthi befuna umbone, it would have been beautiful if you had asked ukuthi uba igama lakhe, so you know them by name. Khona ukuthi uyaphahla, umbiza nangegama umphahlele ukuthi ngicela usondele so and so, ungikhanyisele ukuthi nokuthi nokuthi. So next time you dream of that person, umcele igama lakhe. Ne? Ukuthi kokubani. They'll probably tell you a surname. Actually, but if they tell you the full name, great. Okay, and then also ashintsha kabi ibhubesi kushuthi again njengoba de ngisho ukuthi bekuvele isimeni se spiritual animals sabantu ohamba nabo. Lona konje ibhubesi ni no bani ibhubesi ngonyama.
The whistling in the ear.
Yeah, so kuyidlozi lifuna ukukhuluma. Abantu abadala are trying to speak. When you hear bazalwane, when you guys hear whistling in your ears, or you hear like water in your ears, or you hear ngathi indlebe iyavaleka, kusuke kunabantu abadala abafuna ukuvuka. Abanye ithunywa. Ngenze ukuthi kube isithunywa or kube abantu abadala, but it's abantu bamoya abasuke befuna ukuvuka bekhuluma, because also you have to understand abantu befuna ukuvuka bakhulume, they'll either be in your ear. I'm sorry, it's a bad pun, but be in your ear, like bakhulume ngamadlebe where there's certain things ezenzakala endlebeni, or uphathwe ikhanda, but not in a manner like a normal headache. Like somebody is sitting on it, like there's a weight. Or kanye uthola ukuthi ke mi kakhulu, it's here. There's my shoulder blade. It starts shaking. And then it gets really, really painful. So it can be your shoulder blade, it can be lima hlombe, it can be your head, it can be your back. It can even be sisu bazalwane. Abantu abadala bayahlala eswini. Esinyeni. Basically like where your womb is. Kakhulu with women, they'll sit in your womb. That's why wombs are very, very important. So njengoba nibuye nithanda, I'm sorry to say this again, nithanda ukukhipha izisu. Hey bazalwane. Hayi. Sibusiso thokoza Makhosi, thokoza Khehla. Okay, thokoza Khehla, ngicela uchaza about the significance of spiritual clothing. Like, why are we shown them when we are meant by our ancestors? Okay, I'm going to explain how I understood this question. Okay, so spiritual clothing is very important. Esimeni somuntu ohamba nayo noma abantu ohamba nabo. Buhlungu sathi ngabeke isicamelo la. But anyway, yeah, it's very important because it's also an element of how they draw amandla. Ne? Indlela abadonsa ngayo amandla, indlela abayiphakamisa ngayo, abalekelela ngayo indlela yakho yokuthi ubaphakamise. And also in terms of there's pride in it. Ukuthi, this is how we are represented. Uyabo? This is an element of who we are. It's almost like an introduction to who we are as ithunywa or as amadlozi. Uyabo? That's why like you see almost everybody wearing spiritual clothes now, awusazi. But before, it was a level of pride of, yeah, this is who I am as Makhosi Thandi. Yabo. Njengoba ngigqoka le njida, this is what it speaks to when it comes to abantu abadala bami. Or njengoba ngigqoke iBhayilengue, this is what it speaks to when it comes to abantu abadala bami. You know, there's a level of pride that comes with it. Ukuthi, this is a representation of the kind of spirits that I walk with. Nansoki load shedding. No. Also, it's a way that connects you better with your ancestors. That's how bedonsa ngawo amandla bakhona ukuthi baphakame kahle, uyabahlangabeza ngeengubo zabo. Uyabo? That's why also when you are shown izinto like ujazi or amabhayi or whatever that it is, that's spiritual clothing, uyakubika. There's some stuff or some items that okufanele ukuthi uzibike emanzini, and there are some items that or just ukuthi uyishisela impepho or uyikhanyisela amakhandlela uzibike. Uyabo? There are elements like that. It differs as per situation. But kakhulu, for example, like jazi, ama items ezithunywa abikwa kakhulu emanzini. Ama items edlozi ashiselwa impepho. Yabo. And then where you're supposed to go with that item, for example, like ngizochaza mina with le njidi le. Le njidi lena, when I was shown it, bathi mengiyogubha imithi, ne? Noma ngiye ehlathini, if I'm going to ehlathini, noma ngiyogubha imithi, angigqoke leli bhayi leli. Uyabo? So mengiyogubha imithi kushuthi khona la izofika ingisize khona ukuthi mhlambe ngikhiphe the right one. Yabo? So everything is important, esimeni say my spiritual items. So lento ukuthi uthathe into umuntu ade kuthungela yona, like even with us, like if you, for example, you order isiphika and you tell us your design or whatever, and we make it for you, we send it to you, you don't just wear it. Uyabo? Uyayibika, whether uyibeka ngamanzi nani, unless ke you ask us njengoba saba lapho ucela ukuthi ke sikubikele yona, like sithandazele, like isiphika ke sithandazele uchela ngamanzi lawo endalo, like asempophomeni yasolwandle asisibeni so forth, chachele khulekelwe bike sihambe ke bese nawe kukhanyisi amakhandlela lapho bese uyasibika. Uyabo? Ujazi, if you've ordered it from us and you don't just take it and wear it. Uyayibika, you have to uyibike, especially in those ezithunywa, you have to uzibike emanzini nangomthandazo ukuthi hayi ke nansi ke item leni ifunile sengenzile ibikwe ke and so forth. Yabo? Amabhayi, you have to ukuthi washisela impepho uwabike. Yabo? Noma ukhanyisa amakhandlela uwabike ukuthi nansi into ethile ade niyifunile uyayibika.
Lapha kusibusiso nangebuso la.
Sibusiso? Yes. Oh, Sibusiso, tell us, Gogo, what does it mean to dream being in a relationship with the Sango? Angihleki. Umkhululayo angibuza ukuthi what does it mean to dream being in a relationship with Sangom? With this Sangom? I'm going to be very honest with you. I can't answer you on the basis of, I would have to understand the circumstances. Because it can either be one ukhonjiswa umuntu abadala bakho abamkhethile abathi nangu umuntu ongowethu esokwazi ukuthi siphilisane naye sikhulisane naye in odalelwe yena, right? That's the good version of that. Right? That's the hopeful version of that. Right? Ukuthi hayi umuntu mhlawumbe odalelwe yena and njengoba usumphupha mhlawumbe umphupha nje useyisangoma. Right? Because khona ukuthi uhlangane nomuntu maybe or ubekela umuntu and now they're showing you ukuthi actually this person is undergoing their journey and by the time uhlangana naye uzobe seyisangoma. Good version. Bad version, uphupha lento nje ukusebenzisela imithi yokuthi uphuphe yena kube ngathi owakhe udalelwe yena kanti uyakusebenza. So I don't understand the circumstances surrounding the situation. But there's a good and bad version. That's why I'm grateful ukuthi uShabalala ngahlangana naye ngingakabi sangoma ngingakayilutho ngisayintombi nje ngisayithithizele ngisakhuluma English. Ngisakuthi hey babe ngisakhuluma kanjalo because wow abantu bayasabeka out here abantu banemikhuba. All right, then Umashisa, I can't say your name so I'm not even going to try. Toza Gogo, you've just replied to a question I had without me asking. My ears have been a problem for quite some time. Now they are blocked. Sometimes I hear the sound of dark rivers flow. Yeah. Uzawezwa manzi. And also, when you hear water, you have to go to water, bazalwane. Amanzi ayaphilisa. Amanzi are like the blood in your veins. They give you life, they give you hope, they give you clarity, they give you a glow.
Yeah, kodwa fake disclaimer lapho ukuthi bengangeni. Abahambe beyokhuleka khona because uzothi wena they must go to
yeah,
water.
Don't just go in, bazalwane.
Behambe bemanzini bafike bengene.
Bacwile la.
Something wrong happens, be like ngabona ivideo kasibani
yeah.
because time wathi angene.
But also another thing, this thing of people just going to water and going inside without supervision. Sinenkinga bazalwane. Ziningi inkinga. Ziningi. I'm actually going to say this now because ugogo lo simyisile manzini. She's fine, you know. She didn't know nothing. She's okay. So we took somebody to water on Thursday. It was a waterfall in Bopoma. I'm sorry we didn't tell you, Gogo, but we don't want to scare you. So before the person got here, I had a vision, Uguti. Because nami I knew Uguti vele, I'm going to go and cleanse myself. Yabo, nami ngiyozithandazela nje. Yabo. Because not as healers, we have to cleanse. So, ngihleli. You know, my eyes, when I'm about to have a vision, things happen. So, okay, I'm about to have a vision. I go like blind temporarily. That's just me though. It's not like a common thing. So, now this is me going blind and feeling heavy. And then all of a sudden, I see myself praying and praying and praying underneath water. Then somebody tells me, Uti, don't open your eyes when you go underneath the water because umnikazi wale andau is there today. So you're going there and he's there, you know, he's there in the waters. And I see from where he's coming from because I open my eyes in the vision and I see him coming towards me. Ngatuga, and I like got out of the vision, like the trance, ne? So I tell Shabalala ukuthi, yay, I saw that where we're going, there's the owner. We get there, I cleanse. When cleansing, I go, like I start moving around the water. I didn't know I was doing that. I thought I was still in the same spot. I start moving around in the water. And I go as if I'm going to go under the cave. Then when I'm finished, I go and I cleanse underneath a waterfall in Popo. I hear it. I hear the peoples, they are talking. Kumnandi. I'm like, yeah, no, I receive ancestors, I receive zithunywa. Ingelosi yami yezulu, I'm within. Then I tell Shabalala while I'm with Ugogo that we had come to the water with. I tell him because I'm still sitting here on the rock and I'm done, and she's also done. Uhambio's gaze. As he goes in, he starts to feel things in the water. Ne? Laphana uyizwa ngethusi like towards the waterfall. As he's going underneath, he starts to feel something squishy. You know, like you can feel most of the body of a snake, how it feels like it's squishy. So uyacofa ngethusi, like he's like, no man, he needs to stop. And as he stops, then what happened, Shabalala? It's something wrapped around your legs. So it wrapped around his legs, and then after wrapping around his legs, let him go and went through in between his legs, ne? And he knew that what I had told him had just happened. So we had met the people of the owner of those waters. Inyoka bazalwane emanzini is just into zakhona. Ukuthi manje there's so many people that abayiphazamisayo. Those that watch my previous video, the family secrets, what. My grand told the story of the snake. Ukuthi into yasekhaya. It's a family thing. It's in our lineage. The women in our family, this is the story. They go, they collect the snakes. I saw a video. I said, I think ngiyabuka yonke lemkhuba eniyibukayo, the knowledge that you absorb that's corrupt. I was watching these things, and the person, this healer said, anybody that goes into water and comes out with a snake, usuke yothwala lo muntu ungafa. Yabo mekuthiwa the knowledge of our ancestors is dying. It is dying because people only know of abantu abafike bayothwala bese baphume neinyoka bathi baphume namadlozi bebe beyiphumele nemkhuba yabo. No such. Idlozi uyaphuma nalemanzini in a form of a snake. Back in the day, and where I went to Twasa as well, there was a lady there, Obeyisangom. She had a snake come live into isigodlo sakhe, go in, yahamba yohlala emsamo inhlwathi, ne? My Gobela had a snake come into her yard. Yangangena esigodlweni, yazibophelela esihlahleni esisegcekeni. Yabo. Angazi, they were discussing Gobela and the Sangoma, they were discussing how they removed it. Because kunento yenzayo, it can be imbuzi, where uyihlabela imbuzi, khona izohamba, or whatever. There's processes. Like each person has their own process that they need to follow in order to remove it from its physical form. Ishi is kumba, because they have to leave something that you're going to use as part of umuti. Because it's almost like a way of adding onto impande yako, where they say, okay, mozo kipa umuti wokulapha idliso, for example. Lo muti lo wokulapha idliso, faga a bit of my skin into it, and lo dliso shosho izophela. Or if somebody comes in ehlanyisiwe, uyabo, because khona abantu abalapha inhlanya. Mekuzofika umuntu ohlanyisiwe kuze ibuye ingqondo kulapheke lento eyenziwe kuyena. Mfakele a bit of my skin. Kusuka kuyindlela yokunika amandla amasha to impande yakho. But I don't know why these healers do not know. I don't know what they are initiating with their initiators. Or what's this knowledge they do not have. There's so many people within my bloodline, within some of the knowledge that my mother-in-law has given me about her bloodline, that speaks onto what happens with snakes. that actually has caused some healers, lawa madala, about those healers that are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, why they get to that age as healers and have never gone to water. Because they have such anxiety and fear of knowing ukuthi ekhaya siphuma nalo idlozi live. Siphuma nayo live idlozi. Yabo. Because they have deemed it so. There are people in Samyabo where they say, where idlozi will come and say, I need iskumba sebubesi ukuthi silengiswe emsam. Now you have to go pay 2,000, 3,000 to get iskumba sebubesi, because obviously you're not gonna akusafana qala where you can go hunt, or idlozi is gonna find a way to find a dead lion, and then they're going to tell you, there's a lion that's dying there, go take its skin. It doesn't work like that. Now there are Kruger National Parks. There are zoos. We can't just go get what we need. You can't just get amafuta entlwathi or amafuta engwenya or get amafuta in. You have to bribe and buy those things at very high amounts. So idlozi legal fune ukuthi isikhumba mhlambe salo senhlwathi ile ngemsamo lisuke lizokushela isikhumba, or bring you a wrap you in within that snake, bese leyo snake leyo kuze yehle kuwena fanele uyihlabele imbuzi. Every dlozi has its own way of doing things. But namhlanje sekuthiwa uyolanda isithwalo emanzini mophuma nenyoka, because abantu bayathwala ngenyoka. Siyawazi amadlozi. Mina, when I first had finished building isigodlo, for months, emsamo it was a puddle of water. And I knew ukuthi mina the snake is within the skull. Whenever I'm getting shisimpepho, you'd swear ukuthi kuphuma cricket esigodlweni. To this day, mina, there's limited time I spend esigodlweni. Ngiyabaleka. I was telling somebody oyefikile esigodlweni recently. On Thursday. On Thursday I was telling ugogo who was here. I was like, yay, mina, I'm scared of snakes. Even though my lineage comes, they are here with the snakes. But I'm scared of it, to the point where I will leave you and run out of my skodlo if my ancestors show up in snake form. I will leave you, and I've done it. I've left Ushabalala and Ditwasa is Godwin. I was pattering. And as I'm talking, I hear it's Godwin. I'm like, man, I stop. I'm like, what's that? I look left, I look right, and I look at Umkulu, I look at Titwasa, and they start smiling at me. I'm like, But let me carry on because the noise has stopped. Again, I start talking again to the ancestors. What things are now falling. You can actually hear the size of what's moving. Ameni, I was out of the schedule so fast. Ushabalala, I was out of there because I'm scared. I am scared of inyoka. But it's not a bad thing. Just like we've had birds come into esigodlweni, stay in the skodlo and then leave. Yini kusuke kufike nabalozi. But ngeke ngisho ukuthi abalozi bonke inyoni, because some bafika as inyosi, I don't know. Ekuhamba ngabantu. Ours, when they show up as birds. Abalozi bethu sinoshabalala. And trust and believe. When that starts happening, I move, Mina. Me, I'm scared of ancestors. I'm scared of them as much as I love them. And I think it's such a beautiful thing. But I am scared because I know the power of being absorbed by your ancestors. When they make your mind like ibe empty and you start sleepwalking, uzogcina uyithole usentabeni, not knowing how you got there, because they've now taken you and they want to deal with you ngqo. Which again leads me to labantu abathi bayayithwasisa. You know, bazalwane, there's this confusion that happens with ukukhonjiswa imithi abadala bakho versus ukuthwasisa amadlozi akho. Amadlozi, khona amadlozi afika azikhulumele that will come and say, mntanam, hamba ugubha umuthi ukuthi ukuhlanganise ukuze sikwazi ukuthi sikhulume or usiphakele kanje. The ancestors that are just very vocal about what they want. And they'll tell you what they want, and then ukhona ukuthi wenze what they want, and they'll tell you exactly from step 1 to step 5 what you need to do. Labo bantu abayithwasisi banamadlozi azikhulumelayo. But I think that understanding has left most of us ukuthi actually kunedlozi elifike lizoyikhulumela ukuthi lifunani versus idlozi eliyithwasisayo. Idlozi eliyithwasisayo liyithwasisa years. I know a few people abayithwasisayo. It's a years thing, years. It's not 1 year you're done. Years uzithwasisa, because with each kamba, or with each step that you do, if you uthwasa in the physical, where you are here amongst us living people, where with each step that you take, they take 3 months and be quiet. Then they come back and they're like, yeah, now we need this. Then they take time again off. Then they come back. Then they go. Then they come back. And you do that for 3, 5, 10 years, depending on the person. Then you have umuntu othwasa in the spiritual, where ahambe athathwa amanzi ayothwasa emanzini noma ayothwasa ehlathini, depending ukuthi idlozi lakhe lemthwasisa. Ngoba kunabanye abathwasa ehlathini, umuntu ahambe entabeni kwenzeka ukuthi whatever the process is. Kunabantu abathwasa emanzini, kunabantu abathwasa emgedeni in a cave. Bathwasisa in the spiritual. When amofika ubaboni, but they're there. We confuse the knowledge because we do not know. And it's okay to not know. I don't know what the process is, so I can't explain it. All I know is when mine wanted to linger me into that situation, I was like, Aibadala, no thank you. I know the problems I have. So I need a kobela. You need to accept I found somebody that kind of same vibe as you. So what do you think? Do you accept this person to help us or nah? Or nah? Or not? But I know bamvuma. After the longest time in Ela. Bamvuma and then ik. At the second gobela, because the first gobela also did flames. At the second gobela, bamamgela. Because sometimes the problems are too much, and mina ngangizicabangela endlela engizicabangela ngayo. As fun, there are things I know are constantly waiting for me emanzini. So every time I have to go to water, I have stress. When I have to send somebody to water, it's different. Versus when I have to go on my own. I have anxiety, I have stress, I can't sleep, I'm ngiyacabanga, because I know every time I go to water, what happens to me. So I couldn't have done it. So I didn't trust them to that level. So knowledge is lacking. And abantu badela ngokubona sebegileka. To chase famous healers is not the answer. To go to a healer because you see them with and I've said this before. Ukuthi ubona umuntu ngathi uphila kanje, zibuze ukuthi njobe ephila kanje kungani? Yindaba yena nje alimfici elukuthi hey uyagowa. Sihlezi sigowa as healers, umgowo nje is with us. because we feel deeper than the average person. When problems hit us, they hit us harder than the average person because we are now in the space of knowledge. When you're in the space of knowledge and understanding, idlozi lakho mele likushaya ngeyinkinga, likushaya ngeyinkinga understanding that you know ukuthi basebenza kanjani. So if you have to go through this, it's because there is a purpose. But recently, I went through such a problem. I had anxiety and depression. Depression. After all that I have given, I was so stressed out. Ushabalala look at I know it's fine. Ngithi hey Shabalala, now uyangilinga nje. Now nje ufuna ube slingo empilweni yami. Ngoba leli dlozi liyazi what I have given up. It knows what I have been through. Yabo. Kunzima bazalwane to give your whole life over to ancestors. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. It is the hardest thing to take the step of giving up yourself and your being to idlozi nesithunywa. It leaves you so open and vulnerable to so many things. Do you know what I've given? Do you know mina in my family ngithukwe kangakanani ngalento engiyona? Ignoring the fact that today some people think they can take idlozi lami. Because phela ngiyabaphupha laba bayitshela ukuthi bawoclever ukuthi bangathatha idlozi lami engalisebenzela ngajulukela ngaligidela ngaliphahlela all over this Durban. Idlozi lami I feel amanzi engawazi. I've been to so many different waters because of my ancestors and the problems I had to solve on behalf of the clan that I call Ndlovu. Ela kamakhanya idlozi alingistressanga yazi, alingistressanga. Futhi lela kamakhanya langifikela nempande yezulu. Langifikela lathi mntanami. Yawala, siphethe ukunyanga. And this is what we have.
Yeah. I think we should wrap it up though.
How long is the video? Because ngiyakhuluma, what's in bed?
I want 37 minutes.
Ha! Is there any, let me answer last questions if there are any. If not, then I wrap it up. So good, right?
Yeah, there isn't any more questions.
Okay, we're good. And Bem. And yes, oh yes, Bengitin Sazosho, those, we don't have stock of Ukwai for now. So those that do order, please give us no more 3 days. 3 days, Nyan. On the 4th day, you'll be able to send. And there's no need for them to go through the website. They can just WhatsApp me. But yeah, ngibonge bekumnandi. Sidigida sixoxa. I've said a lot. But yeah, if I can leave you with anything is that kunzima kule department eyibambe iqina. Work in understanding yourself. Learn to care because no matter how much you don't have knowledge in ancestral things, but when you work towards understanding yourself and fixing yourself, ukulapha is so important. Ukuqhuma uphalaza ugabe bazalwane, uphalaza ugeze. Those things can open the doors so much to yourself. To your ancestors in a level that doesn't require you to have much knowledge. So that mhla kwabalaphi bokuthwasa abalaphi bogobela akudlalwa ngani kalula because ngempela kunzima outsha sibaningi sithi sizangoma but sifiwe sinamadlozi. Sibaningi esithi sizangoma bafiwe abanamadlozi. And abanamadlozi hayi ukuthi nginedlozi nje but nginedlozi elithi mina ngiyolapha abantu. Angizile ukuzodlala la ezweni. And umuntu onedlozi will always be required to give up so much of themselves because you're no longer of this world. You no longer belong to Durban, you no longer belong to KZN, you no longer belong to South Africa, you no longer belong to Joburg or Cape Town. You now reside in a spiritual plane that connects with you directly in the physical, so that uzoqhuba umsebenzi wedlozi umsebenzi wethonga. Amen. Kwande Makhosi.
Ngizovala ngapha.
Uzongivalela nje baba.